The big year from Jalen Hurts continues. We're also going to hear from Brandon Graham on why the quarterback is just getting started, plus list our biggest concerns. We have a few for the season. Just how much will Jaylen Carter get paid when he's due for a new contract after this season? We're going to look at how defensive tackles' next deal can stack up. And we kick off our countdown of the top 25 most important Eagles with their second-round pick, Andrew Mukuba. Just how big a role will the safety play this season? With that, we welcome you here to Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL, alongside Dave Zangaro and John Clark. I'm Amy Fadul, and the Eagles off to another month plus now of training camp. That kicks off July 22nd, but we're still talking Birds, Dave. It never ends.
It never ends.
365.
Training camp will be here before we know it. So if you're sitting at home thinking, man, I miss football, it'll be here.
Yeah. Do you really miss it at this point, John? Does it feel
You
like
need
it's
a little
still in our
break.
face?
You need a little break to get ready for the long
Yes.
season, because it's not just the season. It's training camp every day in the heat. So, yeah.
And maybe another long playoff
I was
run,
going to
too,
say.
so.
Absolutely.
Going
to February. Yeah.
July to February. That's how we roll around here. Well, recently on your Takeoff podcast, John, you spoke with Brandon Graham, all things Eagles, of course, and his new partnership and everything else, but it included Jalen Hurts. Let's take a listen.
I think that's why he got the ring that he got, because of the disrespect. People got their right to have their opinion, man, and I just don't agree with that. But you're not gonna always agree with what everybody got to say. All Jalen got to do is keep proving them wrong with the supporting cast of the people that surround him, the team. As long as the team believe and they go out there and they play, man, I'll just let the cards fall where they gonna lay. But Jalen seemed to have won the championship through all the hate, and then, people still want to get him fired up.
I mean, that's really true. Jalen Hurts does still take on a lot of hate. He had an incredible run in the postseason. He's a Super Bowl MVP, and people are still like, I don't know. But BG has the confidence in him, John.
Well, it's interesting, because talking to BG and you talk to other guys like Dave does, like Jordan Mailata, guys like that, guys like it when Jalen Hurts is being dissed.
Yeah.
And when Jalen Hurts is being disrespected, because it seems to, like Jalen said that time, the loss to the Chiefs, it affected his soul. And you get a sense that he's still on a mission, because he said it kind of makes you even hungrier now. And I think that's good, because he was doubted at Alabama, of course, even by his coach in that game. And then coming out in the draft, he was doubted. So I think he's the perfect guy for this, because I think he uses it in the right way, and he's constantly motivated. And I think what you need to do when you're coming off a championship to keep that chip on your shoulder to try to win again is you have to have that kind of prove somebody, still proving something to somebody. So I think Jalen still has that. Chris Sims putting him number 10 in his quarterback ranking. So I think Brandon Graham's point was keep doing this, because it only fuels Jalen.
I mean, honestly, Chris Sims is never going to have him higher. 10 is like a gift probably in Chris Sims' face. Let's just
Super Bowl MVP.
Right?
Exactly.
It's the minimum.
Yeah,
Super Bowl
exactly. It's the
MVP.
very
You can't go
minimum
any
for
lower.
him. It's the very minimum for him. Let's check out our three-point stance presented by Toyota. First up, there are still concerns for the Eagles. Dave, you have a great article right now on our website, NBCSportsPhiladelphia.com, detailing top 5 concerns. And I know people are going to be like, what concerns? But yes, obviously the team is Super Bowl champion. But we can pick up a couple of things. What sticks out to you on this list that you have these 5?
Yeah, and look, I want to preface this by saying they are Super Bowl favorites. They're coming off a Super Bowl. They're a really good team, great roster. There are always concerns when you enter a season. Obviously, the schedule is difficult this season. Saquon, 482 touches last year. It's tough to come back from that. If anyone can, it would be him. And then 2 and 3, they kind of work together a little bit. They lost a lot of pieces on defense, some of those on the defensive line. And then the pass rush is a part of that, right? Because you lose Milton Williams, you lose Josh Sweat, you lose Brandon Graham. Now you're asking a bunch of younger players to step up. And look, that worked out great for the Eagles last year, but are they going to hit 100% of that? No, probably not. And you think back to their defense last year. In the Super Bowl, they were great. They got a ton of pressure, and if you just watched that game, you thought, man, this defensive line has carried them the whole season. That wasn't really the case. That back 7 did a lot of the work, and the defensive line came through in the biggest moment. You give them credit, but I think that's a concern. And then number 1 to me is still the offense. 29th ranked pass offense in the league last year in the regular season. They turned it on in the NFC Championship game, in the Super Bowl, like they thought they would. That was great, but they're probably going to need to be a little bit more balanced this year for the offense to really hum along.
I mean, these are valid things, and it's not like we're nitpicking, but these are things, if you want to get back to the Super Bowl, you have to solve some of these. So, John, what do you make of Dave's list?
Well, hey, number 5, yeah, they have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL, especially the road schedule, and every single one of these teams is going to be coming after you as the Super Bowl champs. So I do think that a tougher schedule makes it tougher to get the home field advantage like they had last year. I like Dave's list, and look, at this time of year, you have to make a list. You have to find things that you're concerned about. The number one thing for me from that list is the pass rush.
Yeah.
Because you lost Josh Sweat, you lost Brandon Graham, and yes, Nolan Smith, he's coming along here. He look how much he improved. But it's not a guarantee that you're able to get the pressure in those big moments like you did last year. I mean, in the Super Bowl, we're talking about Josh Sweat. He basically was let go by Vic Fangio, like, just go.
Yeah,
just get after the quarterback. You have no assignments. You have no nothing. Just go after the quarterback and Patrick Mahomes. So that to me is the biggest concern, because you need to have the pass rush get after the quarterback, because you are going to be very young in the secondary. You know, if Keely Ringo's starting at corner, and then you have Drew Makuba or even Sidney Brown at safety along with Reed Blankenship, you're very young. So you need the pass rush to get home. Yeah. So that is my biggest concern.
And if there's one spot where they might add a player, I think edge rusher makes a lot of sense.
More so than Jair Alexander?
I think so.
Yeah, more? Oh, wow.
Interesting. All right, second stance, Jaylen Carter will eventually break the bank. Reuben Frank has his Eagles observations up today. He discussed what a Jaylen Carter extension would eventually look like. We've got a list of the biggest contracts for defensive linemen out there. There's some big numbers. Obviously, the top of this list, you know, the top 5 are guys that are incredible, and rightfully so. But where do you think he might fall, John, on this list?
Well, we were talking about this in the office, and this is a great list. If you keep it up for a second, one thing that we noticed was, like, okay, Nick Bosa, he set the new bar at $34 million. Well, if you look at where pass rushers were getting paid, the top pass rushers going into last offseason, it went up from like $28 million to $40 million.
It's crazy.
So now you're looking at that percentage. Let's say that's 30% or more additional salary. I think Jaylen Carter has a chance to be up there with Myles Garrett, because the argument is, even though he's a defensive tackle, he deserves to be paid like an edge rusher because of what he brings to his defense, because he's getting the double teams. He opens up the pass rush for every other player on that line. These guys are eating a lot on the defensive line with the Eagles because of Jaylen Carter. So no matter what argument you have, he plays 80% of the snaps. He's a game wrecker, and I do think he can be even better this year. You've heard guys say that. Vic Fangio said that. So I think he can get to that $40 million.
I mean, you're looking at $26 million at the low end. Milton Williams is down there. That's still a lot of money to $40 million.
Who played 50% of the snaps?
Exactly. Myles Garrett, obviously, topping the list there at 40. Should he get paid like an edge, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me what position he plays. He's that much of a game changer on the defensive line, and he's going to be 25 at this time next year.
Young.
And so to tell people, like, that's the way this works. After the 3rd year of your rookie contract, you're now eligible for an extension. So the Eagles, the way they do these things, like, they're going to try to pay you as soon as they can, because that price tag, it's not coming down for a player like Jaylen Carter. Very curious to see what happens with Zach Allen, who was the other second-team All-Pro. He's also entering a contract year, so and he doesn't have that 5th-year option coming up because he's a veteran. So we'll see what he gets paid. He's making $15 million per year right now. That's going to be the new floor, whatever he gets for Jaylen Carter. But it's going to be massive, and this is something the Eagles are prepared for. It's not like they're going to wake up this time next year and go, oh, man, we have to pay Jaylen Carter. We forgot about that. Like, Howie's been planning on this, and when you're talking about, like, the long-term planning, they knew this is coming from the moment they drafted Jaylen Carter, and it's going to be a big one. All
right, we'll have to watch that. Big payday coming. Our third stance, Dak Prescott won't ever win a Super Bowl. Oh, I'm so negative.
Got to go Cowboys here.
Sorry. Cowboys quarterback spoke to the team's website, had this quote when discussing his legacy, quote, I want to win a championship, the legacy and the things and whatever comes after I finish playing will take care of itself. I want to win a championship. Be damned if it's just for my legacy, for this team, for my personal being, for my sanity. The legacy will take care of itself. I have to stay where my feet are. So, John, I mean, I get what he's saying. He's not going to worry about his legacy. This guy wants to win, and I appreciate that. But he's in Dallas, and they haven't sniffed a Super Bowl in 30 years. 30 years.
Before you were born.
Before he was born. I was alive. No.
Oh, I was trying to throw that out there, Amy.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I wasn't alive yet. So young.
But Amy, I agree. I mean, I agree with you or your question. I don't think he is going to win a Super Bowl. Now, look, that's easy to say. There's 32 teams in the league, but the Eagles are in the division, and the Eagles run a team so much better than the Dallas Cowboys do. And to me, the Cowboys organization, they kind of take on the personality of the owner. Look, Jerry Jones always goes for it. He's always all in. But the problem is, his number one thing is business.
Yeah.
And I think the players, like, it's been chemistry issues in the past. It's been guys talking too much, guys putting themselves out there. I think the main thing for them is to be the most talked about organization in the world. And in the end, winning is not number one as far as what Jerry Jones puts out there. He's a good owner. He makes a ton of money. He's a great businessman. But I just think as far as the way the organization run, it's more of like WWE. It's more of like get your name out there. Doesn't mean if it's good or bad. Just get your name out there. The Cowboys are the most popular, or you would say the most valuable franchise in the world. And that's what Jerry Jones wants. That's why they'll never win a Super Bowl.
It's too bad, not really. Maybe he can win one as a backup for the Eagles one day. That'd be something fun. That's what they do here. John, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for joining us. John, of course, you can check out his work on his podcast and, of course, on NBC 10. Let's check out the playbook presented by Supercuts. Kick off our top 25 Eagles countdown with rookie safety who might be thrust into the starting lineup, Andrew Makuba. Plus, 32 teams in 32 days takes a look at the Titans and Cam Ward. Can he turn them around immediately? And Jalen Hurts gets married in Napa Valley. Again, maybe? We're going to look back at an incredible year for the Super Bowl champ and newlywed. This is Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL.